confronted you.
So anxious, like when because I never like noticed that you were doing that just like to random people. Like I don't know why, but it just never registered. And then eventually I was like, why are you? They're right there. Stop.
Yeah, okay, we gotta be real clear and clear it up for anybody that doesn't know that you're a street photographer.
I'm a photographer. I'm a professional
You're not just
photographer.
out here taking pictures on your iPhone of people.
I'm a street photographer enthusiast, so there's a long culture of street photography in the fine art world, and there's been a lot of great photographers and great photographs and stuff like that. So I am sometimes out and about, and if I see a nice composition, I might try to capture it. Yeah. Not trying to be creepy, but I am aware of the fact that like sometimes I may come off like that, especially if I'm photographing women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I brought up the fact that if I seen a man out by himself taking pictures and they took a picture of me, even if it is with like a nice camera or anything like that, I would be hella weirded out. But the second that I see either a woman taking the pictures, I would feel less uncomfortable, or even a man that has a woman with him. So I say, like, if I'm with him, it makes it look less weird.
Yeah, she's
if it's him by himself, that's
like
fucking weird.
Because at the end of the day, I could be like, "Come explain."
Yeah,
come explain.
They're not gonna hear me.
Yeah, and she's gonna like be. Luckily it's never happened. But to the point of earlier, like I've never been in a situation where people have gotten mad at me for over staring or like you know what I mean. In New York, in other places, like I've never like necessarily like, and I like will watch people's interactions.
I feel like you also just have like a very relaxed, like resting face, like. You don't look like upset, or like you usually look very like, you know, just like, oh, I'm just.
I feel like he has a very like quizzical. Is that the right? A very quizzical kind of look. Quizzitive.
I don't know what that means.
A very like thoughtful. Like you're in thought.
Yes.
You know, kind of look. Yeah.
Like pensive.
Exactly.
Like a pensive.
There you
look?
go. That's a better word. Yeah. A very pensive look, so that it's not just like you like giving somebody like, you know, a raised eyebrow or something in the middle of the street, you know, trying to like look at this girl's whatever, you know, or trying to the one you will instigate. So you'll get the instigating face when somebody says something in a conversation or whatever. It'll immediately like perk up his body.
Yeah.
And
I'll be like, bro, you gonna let that slide? Or what's gonna happen?
That's what's gonna get you fucked up.
But I leave. I'm like it'll start happening, and then I'll just be like, I'm gonna exit this, and I'm just gonna watch from a distance. Yeah, I'm so bad, but I got that from growing up in the hood. I used to instigate my friends to fight each other and shit.
Right.
But going back to the pet peeves in relationships, I once, or like in dating, I once encountered somebody that got really upset if I was on my phone the entire time of the date.
Well, yes. What?
No. Not like on my phone the entire date. I'm saying like even if I checked it like once, or like a little bit. Like they'd be like if I'd be like, hold on, I gotta like answer this real quick or whatever, blah blah blah, and then like it would like really irritate them. And I guess that's understandable, right? I mean, if somebody was on their phone the entire day, constantly,
I mean, like that's, it's fair. I guess it feels a little bit extreme though. Like, what if What if my mom texted me? What if my friends are like, "Hey, are you still alive?" I don't know.
Right.
I guess there was one. I haven't gone on many like dates with just strangers or whatever, but there was one specific date that was just absolutely awful. And this person the entire time, I think I already talked about this recently with you, but about this man that very into his reptiles. He had multiple reptiles, and the entire time. And I'm like, okay, listen, look, I like some, you know, lizards and stuff. Like, I'm like, that's cool, that's fine, whatever. But then the whole time, all he wanted to do was talk about his reptiles. Yep. And look, I don't like to bring up like the whole like circus arts, or like, you know, at the time I was like living in the van doing the whole van life thing and whatnot. Yeah. And I normally try to like keep that stuff, you know, so that I'm not like just trying to throw it out there and like use it. So it's not like
your main personality.
Yeah. But man, it was like a 3-hour long lunch date that went on for too fucking long. And it didn't go on because we were having a great time. It went on because he would legit just be like, oh yeah, so I have this ball python and this and that. And I'm like, going on and on and on. But then, and legit.
That's why she went on the date.
I would legit be like, at a certain point, I'd be like, okay, like asking him questions about it, and then it wasn't reciprocated. So like at the time I had a ferret as well, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I have a ferret. You know, they're kind of like, you know, and he'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. So my lizard got sick the other week, and then just keep going. And I'd be like, I'm a circus artist. He's like, oh, really? That's interesting. So my iguana that I had, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to scream. And then afterwards, like the date finished, and he was like, we had talked about possibly me going to see his snake. That sounds awful, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a euphemism.
And he was like,
yeah.
And afterwards he was like, so do you want to like come back to my place? And I was like, it was like 5 o'clock. And I was like, man, it's really, no, 5 p.m.
Oh.
And I was like, we had
He
lunch.
said it's getting really late.
And I was like, it's getting real late. I gotta go. I got work in the morning.
Bro,
and he was like,
stuck
okay.
in like a date, and you just don't know how
to
to
end
get
it.
out.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And you know this story of mine of the date that I got stuck on.
I feel like this has only happened to me once, and it wasn't even a date. But somehow
You got stuck in it?
yeah. It wasn't.
Oh,
Well,
never
I
mind.
did.
I'm
I
lying,
thought Brenda loves this story because this is when we realized I was a lot more naive than I thought I was. I stand by my belief that there was no way in hell that this person could think that this hangout was anything but platonic. Like, I believe that so whole. I would put my left arm in fire. That there is no way in hell that this person could ever have like indication that we were anything but friends. I had also just met them, and we like met up. We had a class together. We met up to work on something because I didn't have the book, and he was like, "Oh, I can send it to you." And like the group chat was like a fucking mess, so we were the only ones like
interacting.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. So we met up for this, and we were just, you know, it was like very normal, like hanging out. It wasn't even also like, oh, we're getting to know each other, and it started getting kind of dating, you know, like it was whatever. We were just like pals, and I was like, yeah, and like, you know, bro, dude, man, like the whole nine. You know what I mean?
Platonic signs, yeah.
Like we were homies. And he is like, we ended up talking about like, oh yeah, we should hang out, and like I'm not good at making friends, you know, so like, and I didn't really talk to people like in class and stuff like that, and that ended up going pretty well. I was like, yeah, let's hang out. Like I'm talking about Love Island, like reality TV, like all that shit, and he's telling me about this like super cheap like sushi place. Like that does not scream romantic date, you know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, it's in Bel Air, it's like super cool, and then there's this like gaming like what are they called?
Like
I don't
arcade?
remember no, it's not an arcade. It's like it's like a gaming
Bar?
oh my god. It's just they have a bunch of computers, you know what I mean? I can't think of the name right now.
Okay.
But you know, just like an
internet cafe or something?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, it's all in like Chinatown, so there's like a bunch of stores, whatever. I'm like, yeah, for sure, let's fucking do that. I like pick him up, I think. We go, we eat. We're like, I pick him up. Like, I pick him up.
No, this
he doesn't
goes
have a
back-
car.
Oh,
No, actually, I don't know if I picked him up.
No.
I don't remember picking him up.
Oh, this goes back to
But
I had this conversation last
I
night.
didn't pick him up. I met him there, but I don't know how he got there.
If you would have picked him up, that would have been wild.
Did
you drop him off?
Yes. That's why I was like, I must have picked him up because I dropped him off, but I don't remember. No, I met him there. He was already there.
Got it.
I meet him there. We're hanging out. It's fine. We're talking about like dumb shit. It's also not like, yeah, I grew up here and like just like school and class and like all that shit, whatever. And then we go
it's just you two.
It's just the two of us.
God damn. Okay.
Anyway. We go to the fucking, internet cafe. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Anyway, let's fucking go. We're not,
let's go get a
whatever.
drink.
He lives at the dorms. Like his dorms are like a block like from my apartment, which is also on campus. We go back to my apartment and we're like talking about Love Island. We're like, let's watch Love Island. Like you have to fucking watch it. Like it's so fucking good.
So now he's in your apartment.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's what I will say. I am under the impression, because I've always had guy friends. Like I've always just like, and like actual guy friends. Like you're one of my best friends. You know what I mean?
100%.
And like, that's all it is. Like we've always just been friends. So I'm always under the impression that I can be just friends with guys the same way that I can be just friends with girls.
Yes.
So I treat those relationships the same way. You know what I mean? Like if I'm like, yeah, this is my guy friend, I don't really treat them differently than my girlfriends. So I'm like, yeah, let's fucking, you know, whatever. And then I'm like, I would offer you something to drink, but we just have water and like an open can of Four Loko. He's like, do you have, very much college apartment.
Oh my God.
He's like, that's all I offer him. I offer him water and an open can of Four Loko. You know, like we don't have, I think
you offered him the Four Loko?
Well, as a joke, you know.
Okay.
I wasn't really hey, do you want this?
It was just emphasizing the fact that you don't have anything.
I don't really have anything. He's like, do you have beer? And I was like, no, but it's for girls. Like, you know what I mean? No, we don't have beer. I was like, we have wine. It's like this like cheap wine that, you know, like Brenda had just bought or whatever. Like it was some random wine. And he was like, can I have that? And I was like, sure, if you want. I'm not drinking, by the way.
Right.
I'm not drinking. I don't offer him wine. I just, you know, he asked what we had. I was like, oh, I guess we have wine. He says, can I have some? I said, yeah, sure, you can, whatever. I don't care. So we sit down, we watch Love Island. All of a sudden, this man has drinking an entire bottle of wine. He drank. So there was like half of a bottle of wine. I think it was half of it. A little bit was left, and then he opened the next one and like drank half of that.
Oh my God.
So this is like,
that's worse than the eating off the plate.
Yeah.
I would say something about that.
Wine?
You just gonna open my wine, man?
I would say something about that, whether you're a friend,
like,
whether you're trying to date
me. He
me.
gets up and he's like, can I have another glass? And I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. You know, 2 glasses. And like glasses of wine are not that much, you know, like it's fine. I didn't realize this man was pouring like half of the fucking bottle into the glass. So he is all of a sudden drunk. Like
wine drunk at that. Wine drunk.
At my apartment. And it's like getting kind of late. Like at that point it wasn't late, you know. It was like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
And then my roommates start getting home and like we're all, you know, like kikiing, like it's fun, it's fine. You know, we talk about the restaurant and whatever, and Brenda's telling us about like I think she had just gotten home from like rehearsal, and we're talking about that, and it's so fun and whatever. And it starts, you know, like Brenda then goes
Clock
into our room, and I'm like, okay, cool. My roommates are home. I want to hang out with them. It's time for you to go, but I have to drive you. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm probably gonna go to bed soon. So, you know, like I don't know if we had class the next day, but I just had something to do. So I was like, I want to go to bed early. Like I can drive you home. Just give me a minute. You know, I go into like my room and I'm like, Brenda, he just drank so much wine. He just drank so much wine. And Brenda is like, I know, I just saw my bottle. It's gone. The fuck? She's like, he's drunk. I was like, I know. I don't know how that happened. Whatever. I come back out. He is plastered on the couch. And I am like, all right, let's go. And he is like, he's kind of like joking. And I'm like, no, like seriously, like I really want to go to bed. Like it's getting kind of late and like I just need my sleep. You know what I mean? Like I am not good. And like I am the kind of person that needs like 8 hours of sleep, like whatever.
The whole
Eventually, night. Like after like a good 5 to 10 minutes, this man like gets up and we're walking.
Finish. I'm dying in suspense here. I can't believe I don't know this story.
I'm so annoyed by what I'm about to say, but it's fine. We go downstairs. So I live on like the second floor. We go downstairs. My car is right there. And this is important information. This is a podcast, right? Y'all can't see me and I'm sitting down. I am about 5'10".
Yeah.
Tall. I'm tall. He is about 5'5", 5'6", on a 5'5".
5'5",
maybe
5'5" when the sun is shining. 5'6" in the morning.
5'5", no. 5'5" on a good day. I'm not good with my heights, but you know, he was maybe up to my shoulder. We go downstairs and I'm walking up to my car and he's standing on the curb and I'm like, I'm starting to get annoyed because I'm like, you need to fucking leave. Like, you need to go. I'm offering to drive you home because you're drunk. Don't push it.
Right.
He stands on the curb, opens his arms, and it's like,
give me a hug.
Give me a hug.
Oh my God, no.
And I'm like, are you kidding?
On the step stool.
I'm like, are you? He's standing on the curb so that he's tall enough to hug me. I am like, are you joking, dude? Like, please. Please. And he's like, come on. And I'm like, no, like, I want to fucking go. Like, I'm not fucking hugging you. And eventually he won't fucking let, like, up. So I'm like, God. Sure. I give him a weird side hug. I'm like, cool. I'm about to kill myself. Like, this, what's happening? Mm-hmm. Just please. He gets in the car and I'm like, this is about to be the most awkward 5-minute ride of my entire fucking life. Right. He lives so close, but I am like, this is the worst. Please, I want to die so bad. He's talking the entire time.
Right. He's wine drunk.
He's so drunk. We get to his dorm. I can't stress this enough. We get to his dorm. I am pulling up to the driveway and this man is still talking. And this man continued to talk for an hour and a half in my car.
You stayed in the car?
What?
I told him multiple times. I'm like, yeah, it's getting kind of late. Like, if you want to get out. He wouldn't get out.
Oh my
and
God.
Eventually, I had to yell at him. I am like, dude, like, please get out of my car. Like, I want to fucking go. I am so tired. It is 2 a.m. I'm texting Brenda. I'm like, Brenda, he won't get out of my car. I don't know what to fucking do. Like, he won't fucking leave. He won't listen. I am desperate now. I'm losing my mind. It's 2 a.m. I am exhausted.
And he's wine drunk.
And he won't get out of my car. I'm literally like, get out. Like, I'm not fucking kidding anymore. Like, get out. And he gets out. And then we never talked again.
But how did you know that he thought that was a date?
Because he's hugging me and like then making like all these weird moves. Like, oh, on the couch. I forgot this part. On the couch, like at some point he like pats the couch and I'm like, don't fucking pat the couch for me to sit
like
down.
I'm a cat.
What are you doing?
I'm a cat. Come here.
Because I'm not in like, oh, like this is a date. Like I am reacting to him with absolutely no, like he does that and I'm like, why are you fucking patting the couch? Don't fucking do that. I'll sit down if I fucking want to. What the fuck? What? He tries to hug me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, what is this? Like, I know that you're wine drunk, but I'm fucking tired. And you are 5'5". I can't hug you. Like, I can't. It's you end up at a really uncomfortable, level. I don't want to do that. Like, I am not being nice about any of these things because I don't need to be. So
because you're there as friends.
Because I'm there as friends
in your mind.
And when you're trying to create a boundary and say like, no, like I don't want to hug you or whatever, like then he's trying to like push back against that, which is a big like,
you're
no,
standing
fuck
on
you.
the curb so you can hug me. Like what part of you is saying, yeah, this is going out great?
Well, he was wine drunk.
I don't give a fuck.
He wasn't like...
You got wine drunk at my plate. You drank an entire
You also
bottle
chose, by yourself. We're not drinking together. You're drinking alone.
He was on his like Sex in the City, I'm alone shit.
It
with
was
somebody
insane.
else's wine bottle.
It was the most insane. Like, I was like, that didn't happen. It is 2:30 in the morning when I get home. I was like, I thought I was just gonna go get sushi and like...
For a minute, you telling the story, for a minute, I was gonna be like, well... There might have been some like ambiguity there with him thinking that it might actually be more than just friendship.
I know.
But by the end of the story, you're absolutely right.
I know. Well, I was telling Brenda,
right.
was like, dude, he was drinking wine. Like, you invited him over and then you gave him wine. I was like, no. You're making it look like, I was like, you want to come over? Like, we can, no.
And you got him drunk so you can have your way with him?
What? Like, what? Where else were we going to go? Number one, we don't have anything to do. He's on a skateboard. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
On the curb.
I am like, I'm not driving us around Houston. Like, I'm not fucking doing that. You know what I mean? So what do? We go back on campus. And like, he's at a dorm. I live in an apartment. So I'm like, yeah, let's go to my fucking place. Let's watch Love Island. What part of that gives you any impression. I didn't offer him wine. He basically stole it. Like he stole our wine and drank it all.
I have never been in that kind of situation. I take my statement back.
Well, I've never been in a romper situation, so I guess we're even.
we're gonna stop there because there's no reason for me to go into my romper situation.
Yet.
One day.
Soon.
But I've never been stuck with anyone at all in that kind of way.
Like,
and I hope to God that nobody's ever been stuck with me in that kind of way that
sometimes I wonder if he like thinks about it.
He thinks about it.
You know?
He thinks about
it. Does he even remember it? Is the question.
That's what I mean.
Does he remember it enough to be able to think about it?
But he probably thinks about it in a way where like, bro, like, she was so confusing. She invited me to her place.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, I wonder if he's like, I thought it was going so well, and then she started yelling at me. You know what I mean?
That's probably what he thinks. That's probably exactly what he thinks.
I thought we were having a good time. She like, and then like, I don't know, but she wasn't like really answering to any of my moves, and then she like kicked me out of her car.
That's such a, I'm sorry for this statement specifically, but that little sentence that like everything was going so well and then she started yelling at me is such a husband thing to say. You know what I mean?
Don't say that.
I'm just saying, like, obviously it's not there, but it's such a husband, like whenever people like, I don't know, that thing was fine, and then she just started
but I feel like guys
yelling.
Are like that often. They're like, no, everything was going great. It's like, no, everything was going great on your side just because you like her. And
or just because you were around a pretty girl.
Because you're blind to
who told you it was going well for her?
Damn. And because you're wine drunk on 1.5 bottles of wine
traumatic.
of not your own wine.
Like, I have never, like, again, like, I'm very, like, non-confrontational, and I'm very patient, too. I mean, I let this man sit on my car for a fucking hour and a half.
That's for ridiculous.
Talk about be nice.
I would have got out of the car.
How did the road rage not kick in at that point?
You're behind the wheel.
I was parked.
Does it being in park negate everything?
Yes. I was parked. So
this is what I would have got out the car, and I would have walked around to his side and, like, opened the door for him.
I almost did, bro.
Chivalry is not
like,
dead.
all right, you want a hug? Here you go. And then, like, give him a side hug, close the door real quick.
No,
run back around to your side.
Part of me was like, I don't want to hug you again. I'm not getting out of this car. This car is safe.
God.
That's fair. But is it, though, with him in it?
Well, he was wine drunk, and he's 5'5". so he was probably like,
dude.
He was probably on his car seat trying to figure out what to do.
Short men a complex. There's a lot of tall women that like short men. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you have to stand on the curb to hug me, like, you can't.
Look, if I like you and you're shorter than me, like, I mean, it's not a big deal. There is a certain height that I'm like past that point. Like, if you're too short, then that's one thing. But like, I feel like it's the same thing. Then if a guy is tall and a girl short, like, they're gonna let you know. They're gonna come to you if they want that hug, if they want that kiss. Like, they're gonna come and like, bridge that distance between the two of you to let you know.
What did you think was gonna happen?
To be fair, me being wine drunk nothing really good comes of it either. So I don't know what.
I just get emotional.
I think being wine drunk is so fun.
But it depends. So if I'm with friends, like, I'll just get whatever emotion it is that I'm feeling, I'm just gonna feel it very strongly. So if I'm with friends, then I'll get like real happy, real fun, whatever. If I'm by myself, I'm gonna get like real sad, real quick.
That's sad.
I get on wine, I get pretty. I mean, I guess like the emotions are a little stronger, but I also get like really like homebody.
Yeah.
I get real like homebody. Like I get real like, man, I need to like cozy up.
Yes.
I'm trying to watch like, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say,
P.S.
that's
I love
usually
you.
when I am wine drunk. Like, I'm usually wine drunk at home. I wouldn't get wine drunk outside.
Well, we've gone over here with our friends at How to Survive, and we've gotten wine drunk there, and it's been like. It's been
going to a wine bar is also just different. Like, the atmosphere is different,
Yeah,
it's nice. True. Shout out to How to Survive.
Love them. I shot my music video there. Fucking love them.
They are great.
But wine drunk at 5'5". What a way to end this.
I hope he's doing well.
Me too.
He has a car now.
Me too.
I hope he learned how to respect people's boundaries.
Yeah, I hope he's
take a hint.
I hope he's wearing some Chelsea boots to give him half an inch. You know what I mean?
He's not. He was a skater boy.
No, I hope he accepted his height and appreciates it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he loves taller women, I hope.
Just don't ever stand on the curb trying to hug anybody ever again, even if you are short.
Yeah. Also, don't don't tap people to sit down.
Oh yeah.
Don't
That's
tap.
weird. That
I'm
could
not
be a pet peeve.
I'm not a fucking cat.
That could be a
Don't.
pet peeve of like, come here.
No.
Yeah, that's
Don't
not
do that.
happening.
Again, I guess it's also different because like if you were to do it to me, it wouldn't be. I'd be like, okay,
But I would
like,
do
you
it
know.
like maybe like gesture, like you know in that episode of Friends, whenever like Chandler's on the bed
Yes.
and he turns the door and he like goes like this and he goes, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I would do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
again,
yeah.
it's
It's-
different
but
if
it's also
I would
different. Like,
never be like-
if there's a certain level of comfortability, like they
Yeah.
can do it and they know how to do it.
because we also
and
joke around
it's
with each
cute.
other and whatnot. Yeah, like even if this is like a first date and you're actually trying to have a date, then like yeah, don't fucking do that.
Yo,
shit to
imagine
me.
if that happened on the first date.
Oof.
Well, apparently
Apparently he
did.
thought it was. Yeah.
You're right.
Apparently he fucking did. So
Damn, between the tapping and the picking off the plate, like
Oof.
it's game over. They should meet each other.